Well, so GATE 2025 is over, and here this video is very special because in this video I will be giving you a full analysis of GATE ME paper, Mechanical Engineering paper for 2025. Obviously, in the first part, you will be getting that what you want, the expected cutoff, the marks versus rank according to me. GATE AIR 31, ISRO selected, DRDO selected, IISc interview I have cracked, and I am M.Tech M.Tech खड़गपुर टॉपर ओके M.Tech के बाद खड़गपुर बोलने में अटक गया था तो in the second part I will solve some GATE 2025 questions live but not to give you the solutions because solutions you can get from anywhere but I will give you some very important insights and finally there is a wake up call for all of you who want to give interview in BARC, ISRO, DRDO or NPCIL or any kind of these kind of research organizations, or if you want to join in any IIT, IISc for your M.Tech or Ph.D. So without any delay, let me start this video. So I am starting this. So first of all, according to me, the level was very easy. Now, I know that some of you will be very tense that okay, the level was easy. That means the cutoff will be actually very high. Yes, from my point of view, I think the cutoff will be something between 30 to 35. Okay. And it is actually, it was very easy. Okay. Now, this is very much, I mean, from my point of view, it is frustrating and irritating at the same time. Not because of that the cutoff will go up, but because of something else that I will talk about at the third part of this video. And that is very, 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 very important for all of you who want to give interviews in those prestigious research organizations or in IITs or IISc. So stay tuned up to that, obviously, because I mean, this whole video will be very important for you, really. Now, marks versus rank. Okay, so I think that obviously the first rank will be getting a marks above 90, no doubt in that. Okay, and I think that up to 70, the first 100 ranks will be completed, and after that, it will be up till 60, the first 1000 rank, up till 50, first 4000 rank. I think it will go like that. Now, see, this thing is a crack. Yes, I have made it, and this thing is a crack. So, I want to share with you that when I attempted GATE in 2023, like all of you, I also predicted my rank in those GATE predictors. Starting from Exergic, Made Easy, Unacademic, GATEwala. Okay, I used all the rank predictors. Okay, now Unacademy predicted that my rank will be something like 10,000. Okay, now Made Easy predicted that my rank will be something like 2,000. And GATEwala and Exergic predicted that my rank will be somewhere between 50 to maybe 200. So, and my rank was 31. Okay, so honestly, these things are total crap. Don't waste your time in these things. Honestly, if you are at the zone of 45 to 65, not 65, 45 to 55, okay, then you are like in a hanging zone. Okay, key, if you want to join any PSU, you don't know surely that if you will get that dream PSU surely or not. If you will get the dream branch in your dream IIT surely or not. That you don't know. But otherwise, if you are above that range, you can be a bit at a sure level that okay, I will get this IIT, I will get this PSU. Obviously, some PSUs like IOCL, ONGC, which are pretty much very competitive, they require much more higher scores. Okay. But the, I mean, this part is a very unimportant part of this video. Okay. But I know that you guys want this kind of parts. That is why I have included these parts in this video. Now, the most interesting parts. I will solve some of the questions in front of you. So here in this question, they have asked that what will be the bending moment. Now, in terms of difficulty, this is very easy. Okay. But in terms of concepts, I will say this is okay. So how can you do it? You can do it very easily. That first you have to find the reaction force at any point, either A or C or B. So if I draw, okay, like So the reaction force at A will be upwards, RA, and at B it will be downwards. This is from my intuition. So if you see, if you rotate the beam like this, okay, so then this point will tend to upward. That is why the reaction force is at downwards, and this point will tend downwards. That is why the reaction force it is at upwards direction. Okay. Now what I can do is I can take a moment about B. Okay. So moment about B will be 0, right? And obviously there is the moment like this, that is the varying moment, right? So if I take the moment about B, then what will be the expression? Expression will be RA into 1, right? And what will be this? So I have to take the whole moment here, okay, right? So this will be 1 Newton per meter, right, into 1. So this will be 1. So that means RA will be 1 Newton. Okay. So if RA is 1 Newton, now at C, you have to find moment at C. Okay. So moment at C will be what? RA into 0.5. Okay. And this varying moment, this effect of this varying moment. So this will be, okay. Now you have to see that if we take the moment from this point, this moment is at this direction and this moment is at this direction. So they are in opposite directions, right? So that means they will cancel out each other. So that will be 0.5 into 1, because I will take the varying loading only up to this position. Okay, from this to this, and this is only 0.5, and the magnitude of the varying load is 1 Newton meter per meter. So this will be 0. Now these concepts are very important because in interviews in IITs and also in interviews like BARC, they will ask you to draw the bending moment, to find the bending moment, to find the shear force. So that is why you must be able to do this basic thing. So this question was easy and honestly a very good conceptual question. So I would say that this was a handsome question. Okay, that is, you have to apply your concept. You cannot apply any formula, right? Fine. So the answer is 0. Now for this, that for this state, okay, they have not given the values of the stresses, but we can assume that the values are same. Draw the correct Morse circle. So first of all, this state is called a hydrostatic state. So this is called hydrostatic state of stress. Okay. Now, how can you draw the Morse circle? Very easy. Okay. Firstly, I am drawing the coordinate axis. This is sigma. This is tau. So tau is 0. Right. So we need 2 points. So those 2 points will be the diametrically opposite 2 points. So the first point will be what? The first point will be sigma x comma tau xy, right? Second point will be sigma y comma tau yx. Now tau yx and tau xy both are 0, and sigma x and sigma y both are minus sigma here. Both are minus sigma. Because why it is minus? Because this is compressive. Now if both are the same, then you see that these are what? These are, as I have said earlier, two opposite points, two diametrically opposite points. Okay. So first of all, if these are two diametrically opposite points, you can always find the center and radius. So what will be the center? So see, sigma x and sigma y both are equal to minus sigma, right? So the center will be what? Sigma x plus sigma y by 2. That will be also at minus sigma. And the radius is 0. The radius is 0. That means the Morse circle is at here, where this is at minus sigma. Okay. So this will be the answer. This will be the final answer. Okay. And so this was also a very good question, and I would say a very conceptual question. So this type of questions are required. This type of questions are required. Okay. Now this question. This question, I would say this is not a very good question because you have already a ready-made formula. That is, this is what? This is sigma z by your Young's modulus minus this into sigma x, or I should write sigma zz, sigma xx plus sigma yy, right, by E. Okay. So you have your sigma zz equal to 0, sigma xs equal to, uh, I mean, this is given as your 350 GPA and this is your minus 150. Okay, so this is a very, this is not a very good question, but it is okay. It is a okay question in terms of concepts. Now, you might be wondering a lot that why this guy is rating rating all the questions. That is, if this question is a good question, if this question is a handsome question, or if this question is good in terms of concepts or not. So this is very important because you have to understand that your main goal is not cracking it. Your goal is to get a job. Your goal is to get that good IIT of your dream, right? So all these ratings of these questions is connected to those things, to your dreams. So how these are connected to your dreams, that I will explain in the third part after solving this kind of questions. Don't worry, I will not solve all the questions of GATE because, as I have said earlier, the solutions of these questions you can get from any other coaching center website, and I know that already they have already published the live solutions of GATE examination, right? So you can search that GATE Wala live mechanical paper solution. You will get that exergy, all these things you can easily get. Okay. Now, this question is a very good question. Why this is a very good question? Because this question, firstly, involves two concepts. First, the concept of vibration. Second, the concept of strength of materials, especially or specifically beams. Clear? And here, you cannot get the answer by just memorizing any kind of formula. So that is why this was a very, very good question. Okay. If I proceed with the solution, then if you get this mass M, jerk like X, okay, and then if I write the equation of motion, then it will be mx double dot plus sx plus restoring force given by the beam. Now, what the hell is that? See, if there is a beam like this, that is a cantilever one. So if you give it a load, okay, F. So what will be the deflection? That is delta equals to FL cube by 3EI, right? Now these things has to be memorized. Okay, these things have to be memorized. And now the thing is that you are giving it a push, but because the beam has its own resistance to movement, it will give some, resistance, right? So that is why this F will be here the restoring force of the beam, right? So it is the same thing that I if I try to pull this pencil like this, if I apply the tensile loading, then what can you say? That being a almost deformable or maybe something, that it has its own elastic property. Based on its elastic modulus, it will show its stiffness, right? So it will it will affect by offering its own force of resistance. The same thing will happen for this beam, right? So here, if I see that this FR beam, the restoring force offered by the beam is 3EI delta, and here the delta is actually X, right? So X by what? By L cube, right? Okay. So here I will write CEI by L cube into X. And this is equal to 0, right? And now this is actually a same kind of equation. If I take these kind of things common, right? Okay. Now this is a modified equation, that mx double dot plus kx equal to 0. And you know that the natural frequency is root over of k by m, where you know the value of the k, that is s plus 3ei by l cube. So this was really a very good question, right? Okay. Now the next question, this question is that, it was a subjective type question that a block is here, 1 kg of block, right? And it is connected to a spring. The spring constant has been given and it is suspended to a viscous medium so that you can approximate this as a spring mass dashpot system where the dashpot is having the damping ratio which is equal to this one. That is the damped frequency by the natural frequency, and you have to find the value of eta. Now again, I would say that this was a very bad question because if you don't know that your omega d is equal to omega n into root over of 1 minus eta squared, then you are doomed. Okay, so only this is the formula. You don't, you don't need any kind of concept of vibration here. You don't need any kind of concept of viscous medium here. Only you need this formula. On the other hand, if any student has a very good concept of vibration, but he or she doesn't recall this kind of formula in the examination hall and he starts to derive this kind of formula, then okay, uska exam wahi par khatam ho gaya. So that is why I am telling you that I am just irritated by seeing this question, the question paper of ME this year. Okay, and I will tell you in the third part of this video how this can ruin your IIT M.Tech journey or your BARC ISRO DRDO interview. This is very important. So you can skip these solutions if you have already got these solutions from the Exergic or any other coaching centers, but you should not skip the third part. That is very important. Clear? So if you put this here, then this becomes what? Omega d by omega n is equal to root over of 1 minus eta square. So you have a very simple equation, that is this, right? Now from this you can easily find the value of eta. Clear? Okay, now this question, that you have a offset slider crank mechanism. So here the offset is given. Now this question has two kind of approach. Firstly, you can draw the extreme positions. Secondly, you can memorize the formula. Okay, so the students who will solve this by, so firstly if I draw the extreme positions, okay, so the first extreme position will look like something something like this. Okay, so this is the thing, and this will be 50 plus 30. Okay, so this will be 30 and this will be 50, and you know that the offset is here 10. So you are getting a right angled triangle having your hypotenuse as 80 and your height as 10. Then you can find this L1, right? You can find this L1. Okay, and you can find the other extremum. Okay, the other extremum will be something like this. Clear? So it will be something like that. This is your 10 here, and this whole length is 50, and this is actually 20, this length. Clear? And this is actually 30. So again you have, sorry, I think I have done something wrong. This will be 20. Here, this will be 20 and this will be 30. Clear? So again you have another right angled triangle and you can find this distance L2, and then the stroke length is L1 minus L2. Clear? So, and now here, sorry, L1 plus L2. So here people do what? People will actually memorize some formula. Okay, that if we have an offset crank slider mechanism giving some offset of E, and if you have the crank length as R and the connecting rod length as L, then they have a ready-made formula in terms of R, L and E. So those of the students who have solved with that ready-made formula, and maybe they have solved it in some, within a matter of seconds, but if they continue that approach, they will be doomed in their IIT M.Tech journey, and they will be surely not be selected in BARC type interviews. Clear? That is why I am showing only this type of questions. I have selected very few questions from which I can show you that these are some type of questions which could have been solved by your concept and also by the memorization of the formula. So you have to change your thinking. Okay, if you have that kind of mindset that I will memorize the formula and I will just go with that. So honestly, 90% of the questions this year was from those kind of formula. Even in manufacturing, just the application of direct formula. So I was thinking that okay, JEE means इससे hard होता होगा यार. या फिर I mean, अरे क्लास 10 या फिर 12 का क्वेश्चन है. I mean, it is like कि if I have a formula that A is equal to root over of BC, then I have been given the value of A and B, I have to find the C. This type of question have been asked in this year. That is detrimental for you if you think that, okay, now I am a champion because I know the formulas and I have solved all the questions. Please change your mentality. Now, this question was actually a bit of, I mean, I should say a good question. Okay. So, because here you have to find the sigma T max, because of which the factor of safety of 2 can be applied following the Soderbergh criteria. And it was given that the endurance strength was equal to the yield strength and the ultimate tensile strength was equal to your 2 into endurance strength. Okay. And you know that the Soderbergh criteria says that your sigma what? Sigma m, sigma mean by sigma y plus sigma amplitude by sigma e is equal to your 1 by FOS. Clear? So everything is given here. You know that for these kind of cases, this is called a cyclic loading. Okay. Now here your sigma A is what? Sigma max minus sigma min by 2. So here it will be sigma T max by 2 and that is equal to again the sigma mean. Clear? So you will be having sigma T max by 2 common, right? Then 1 by sigma y, that is equal to your sigma E. Okay. And your sigma, okay, and sigma E is already given. Clear? So that will be equal to 1 by 2. FOS is given, right? That means your sigma T max, okay, into 2 by sigma E is equal to 1, and that means this will be sigma E by 2. So this will be the answer. Okay, there was options in terms of the sigma E only. Okay, so this was actually a good question. Okay, in machine design. So I have only included these questions, but honestly, I will discuss some more questions. Okay, so I know that you can see all the questions here. So I have these questions here. So I don't need to make you see these questions because I mean already I know that you can I mean recall these questions very well, right? So if I go to the fluid mechanics, so the fluid mechanics was the funniest part in this examination. Okay, so the first question that I am seeing here, that is a Pelton wheel of diameter 1 meter, jet velocity was given. If there are no friction loss, the rotation speed of the wheel for maximum power output. What the hell? हाँ, मैं वही वर्ड बोलने वाला था लेकिन क्योंकि चलो ठीक है, मतलब एल की जगह एफ से वो वर्ड बोलने वाला था, जो भी हो. तो the thing is that you should have the formula in your mind that your u is equal to v by 2, right? Your u, I mean your u is equal to, yes, v by 2. G, and your u is the wheel speed and v is the jet speed. So your jet speed is given. See, this is a formula like u is equal to v by 2. Your v is given, you have to find the u. What kind of questions these are? And don't be happy if you have cracked GATE because you can memorize this. If you can derive this, then you should be happy. Okay. Now the second question from again for fraud number. Fraud या fruit क्या कहते हैं? Okay, fruit ही बोल देते हैं. Fraud अच्छा नहीं लगता. For fruit number similarity in length scale 100 and velocity of prototype is 10 meter per second. The velocity of model is what? So fruit number is what? V by root GL. Okay. Now you have been given that the length scale, okay, length scale is 100, L is 100 and V of prototype is 10, right? And you have to find the velocity of the model. Okay, so these things are similarity of the length scale. I think this 100 is actually LP by LM. Okay, LP by LM is equal to 100. So yes, this is the thing, that V square by LM is equal to VP square by LP square. So you are being given this LP by LM, and you know this VP, you can find this V. So these kind of questions are asked, like why यार, why, मतलब ऐसा क्या सोचा उन लोगों ने, मतलब क्या खा के, मतलब I think they were like, yeah, we don't want to make questions, I mean, in this time. Okay, so मतलब जो भी दिमाग में आया बस एक एक फॉर्मूला को पकड़ा और क्वेश्चन बना दिया. So this is very detrimental, please understand. Okay, for those who want to join BARC, ISRO, DRDO, who want to join IITs, okay, this is detrimental. And I will also tell you that what to do after this part. Okay, the few things that I will discuss now, the thermodynamics part. Okay, again the thermodynamics. So okay, so engineering mechanics. Engineering mechanics was another joke. Okay, they have given a wheel, right? And they have given a wheel. They're asking that if the wheel is performing a pure rolling with a speed of omega, speed of, I mean, rotation omega, then if I give this point as A and B, then what will be the velocities of the point of A and B? This has been asked. अरे ये तो कोई मतलब जिसको फिजिक्स नहीं भी आता, he or she can answer this, because from class 10, from class not 10, from class 12 actually, or maybe from 11th, students actually mug up this thing, that if I see this word pure rolling, that means V is equal to RO. They cannot derive that. And I know that many of you will also not be able to derive it. That this V, B is equal to R omega, and this is 0. BA is 0 by definition of pure rolling. Now this has been asked. What? I mean, अरे कुछ भी. So और क्या पूछा गया? Okay, there was a question of zero force member in a truss. That was a good question. Is what I mean. It was easy, but still it was a good question. Okay, and any other thing I cannot find right now. Okay, so okay, now engineering mechanics is done. Engineering thermodynamics. Okay, now engineering thermodynamics. This was a good question. I should take this question here. So it has been given that if you have a box here that is insulated and rigid tank. Okay, this tank is insulated as well as rigid. So if you have a paddle wheel here, this paddle wheel here, and here you have air. So you can think that you are right now sitting in a room, and if you have a fan above you, I mean a ceiling fan, so the room can approximately be assumed as a rigid insulated chamber. And the fan, you just switch on the fan is rotating, and then what happens is they are asking that after that what will be, I mean, what will happen to the entropy and enthalpy? Will the entropy decrease? Will the enthalpy increase? What will happen? So this is very easy question, not very, sorry. This was very good question. Okay, because people can easily say, okay, that, I mean, बस ऐसे अंदाजा से, okay, people can say by guessing that, okay, शायद entropy will increase. So by that thing they can answer this question. But imagine that you are asked the same question in BARC interface. So you have to explain that why the enthalpy is increasing, why the entropy is increasing. Okay, you have to ask all, I mean, you have to answer all this. So first of all, you can always apply the first law. Okay, so del Q is equal to del U plus del W, right? So here del W is 0 and del Q is 0. Sorry, del Q is 0, but del W is not 0 because the paddle wheel is supplying some work. So if del W is not 0, so this work will increase the kinetic energy of the molecules inside the room. that will increase the enthalpy or also the internal energy. Now, what about the entropy? Okay, so if I say that my del S, okay, or so if I apply the entropy balance equation for this chamber, okay, so then MISI minus MESE plus Sgen, right, Sgen, or I should write the capital Sgen dot, okay, and I am neglecting the entropy interactions because of the heat, and that is equal to the change in entropy of the system. Clear? So these things are zero, and this process by no means can be reversible. That is why Sgen is positive. Clear? So a paddle wheel work by no means can be reversible unless otherwise it is mentioned. So we can easily say that the del S will be this del S is what, S2 minus S1. So because this S generation is positive, so this del S will be also positive. Okay. Now here another question can arise, that how should I take my control volume? So if you answer this question, so all of you, okay, so I would like you to answer this question thinking that you have in front of you 5 scientists of BRC or 5 scientists of DRDO or ISRO. So they will, or IISc. Okay. So they will first ask you to draw the CV, the control volume. Okay. So if you take different control volumes, the solution can be different. Okay. So those things you have to take care. Okay. So here the answer will be that in both enthalpy and entropy will increase. Clear? Okay. Next. Okay. Another. A reversible pump is working in room temperature on reversed Carnot between temperature limit of 300 and 200. And if the heat loss through the room is 15 Kelvin, then the power input is 1. Again, another crap question, because if anyone just memorizes the formula of COP and the definition of COP for a reversible Carnot pump, then he or she can easily answer this question by just memorizing the formula. Okay. Even if he or she does not have any kind of concept that how to draw engine, like for this question, you don't have even, you don't have to even draw the diagram of that engine. Okay. So COP is equal to what? COP is equal to the refrigeration effect, and that is here it is given as 15 kilowatt by the work input, and that is actually that is a function of T source and T sink. So T source and T sink is given, so you know the function, you can find this work. A crap question. Another. Okay, in a polytropic process, 1 kg of hydrogen gas undergoes a work done of 400 kilojoule. If the polytropic exponent is 1.3, heat transfer in the process is. So I can remember that in my class 12, when I was first introduced to the subject of thermodynamics, I solved questions like this, right? So in that time, I was like, it is hard because I have to derive the formula. But now I am seeing that in this question has nothing. Okay, if you can memorize the formula, you can answer this question just within 30 seconds. But if a person has the concept, but he or she does not recall that formula at the time of examination, and honestly, from my point of view, why would I memorize a formula for a polytropic process? Why? I don't get it. So then if I can remember that during my GATE examination, I did not memorize this formula. Sure, for sure. So during my GATE examination, if I was given this question, I had to derive the formula on that spot, and that would have taken at least 3 to 4 minutes of my time. So that could have been a detrimental thing for me, and I am sure that if there is a student like me who is not there to memorize all these things, then he has suffered or she has suffered. Okay. And from the manufacturing, I'm not going. Okay, still I should cover the manufacturing also. Okay, so heat transfer. Okay, heat transfer, should I go? I think you are getting my points, right? Still, for the sake of the video, heat transfer, let us go through it. So in heat transfer, there is a question that a spherical ball is shown in the image below. For the given conditions given, in which direction will the air flow when in contact with the ball? Uh, what it is given? For the given conditions given, in which directions will the air flow? I think here it is a memory based question. So I think this question is not correctly put. Okay, I have to see the actual question. Okay, so I have seen this question that if I have a pipe flux, so this question was actually good. It was very easy, but it was good. So I will do it here. So I have a pipe here. I have been given the heat flux like this, and it is 2000 watt per meter square, and the T mean inlet and the T mean exit has been given. So what will happen? M dot Cp T mean exit minus T mean inlet is equal to the total heat input. So that will be equal to QV into 2 pi R into L, and you are asked this L and you are given this TME and TMI. So for those who do not have the basic concept of energy balance, they will be like, अरे यार कौन सा formula मतलब इस पे apply करूँ कौन सा formula? So and this is just a mere energy balance. Believe me, in heat transfer, for all kind of problems, starting from very easy problems to very high level ones, you just need to have the concept of energy balance. In IITs, you will be asked to derive the expression, the governing equation for different kinds of fins, a triangular fin, a hyperbolic fin or a parabolic fin. They will give any kind of equation for the fin profile. You are there to derive the equation, and the basic step is the energy balance. So this question was very easy as well as good. Okay, and then I have a hollow cylindrical body. The temperature of the different surfaces is shown. The value of Q1. Okay, again, this is a very good question. So I have a cylinder here, and if I have the surfaces named like 1, 2, and this curved surface as 3, I know the T1, T2, T3 I need to find by the radiation heat transfer Q1. So you are supposed to draw the radiation network, and you can easily find the Q13. Okay, or you can directly do it actually. So Q13 will be, because you know this, if you, so Q13 will be what? Q13 will be, okay, sigma T1 to the power 4 minus T3 to the power 4 by the gray body factor. So that will be 1 by A1 F13. Clear? So, so here the catch was to find this F13. Now again, if you can, so is F13 given? No. No, I think F13 is not given. Okay, so F12 is given. I see. F12 is given. So again, it was a very good question. So F12 is given. You have to find F13 by the view factor algebra. How can you find that? See, F12 plus F11 plus F13 is equal to 1. This is the basic view factor algebra, and you know that F11 equal to 0 because 1 is a flat surface. And you are given this F12 as 0.2. So if F13 is 0.8, and now you know this F13, and this will be A1, you know this A1. So this was almost a very simple but okayish question. I mean, in terms of the concept also, this is a very good question. Clear? Now, if I go through the manufacturing part, should I go to that? I don't think so. Let me see engineering maths. Okay. So, generally in mechanical engineering, engineering maths is always given very easy. So, okay. If A and B are real symmetric matrices of same size, then which one of the following options is correct? So this is asked from the basic, एकदम छोटा बच्चा वाला concept. Okay. So I think thoda to they should give it. Okay, so in the complex complex analysis, there's a very good question, and I always tell that the Cauchy's theorem is the one from which they will surely ask questions. So this is what z cube plus z square by 4, z square minus 4 is equal to 2 pi I into n. So n is what here? N is the number of poles, right? So here you have to find the number of poles, and then you have, and they have also given the curve. The curve here is c, integral over c. C is mod of z is equal to 1, that is a unit circle. So you have to see that if inside the unit circle, if there is a point of singularity or not. Okay, you have to find that. So this is a basic question of Cauchy's theorem, Cauchy's residual theorem. So engineering maths was okayish there, and there was a ekdam straightforward question from the Simpson's 1/3 rule. Okay, so that was okayish. Clear? And I'm not going through this kind of manufacturing things. Okay. So the manufacturing thing was again totally based on formula. In industrial engineering, I have seen that there was a question to find the float of an activity. In that case, you have to have a very good understanding of the networks, the project networks. So that question is a very, I mean, basically a traditional question, and that is very common, and that is a good question because you have to apply your brain there. But in manufacturing and production, I have seen that they have been asked, they have asked like questions like the maximum limit of wire drawing, and there's a, direct formula, 1 minus e to the power minus that, okay, the reduction ratio and all these things. And also for the rolling, there is a formula, right? So, mu square into r is equal to the maximum reduction. Okay, so they have been, so see these kind of things I have already told you that AB is equal to C. You have been given the value of A and B, and you have to find the value of C. I have seen the questions from applied thermodynamics. They have given the value of R, the compression ratio for Otto cycle, and you have to find the efficiency. There is a direct formula for it. So what kind of, engineer you would be if you always have memorized all these things. You do not know that how a auto cycle works, and you cannot draw the TS diagram or a PV diagram of a auto cycle. You have just memorized it. And okay, so I have a homework for you. Okay, you tell me which of this diagram is correct for a power producing cycle. Okay, so either this one where these two lines are parallel. Okay, so these two lines are parallel. This is going and this is coming down, and the second drawing will be, okay, where this line are. So basically, if this is L1 and L2, and this is also L1 and L2. So in this diagram, L2 is more than L1, and in this diagram, L2 is equal to L1. So this is a diagram for which cycle? Can you firstly tell that? Please comment in the comment box. So that is the, I think the diagram is for the Brayton cycle, right? So can you tell me? So can you tell me? Okay, so these processes are the constant P. Can you tell me that if both of these are correct, so it can happen that both of these are correct and both of these are diagrams for two different Brayton cycles. And if that is true, or if this is wrong and this is right, or this is wrong and this is right. So this type of questions can be asked in GATE also in future. So I am again, just telling the questions for this one time, that if I have drawn these two diagrams, okay, and here these two diagrams are for the Brayton cycles. So you have to tell me that which one is correct, or if both are correct and are for different Brayton cycles. And for this diagram, this and this line are parallel, and in this diagram, these lines are diverging in this direction. So which one is correct? You have to tell. So you can type in the comment box either A or B. So in applied thermodynamics, they have asked that in the psychometric chart, this axis is what? They have asked it. I mean, what they expect that these are, I mean, they are एकदम दूध पीते बच्चे हैं, बस एक डायग्राम दिखा के पूछो कि ये मतलब क्या है। अरे यार कुछ भी। और एक अच्छा क्वेश्चन था कि they have given the TS diagram for a Rankine cycle for the irreversible one. Okay, I mean for the irreversible expansion, and they have given the values of enthalpies and entropies, and you are supposed to find the turbine work. So that was a good question. Okay, अब बहुत हो गया ये सब. Now the final part. Don't worry, this video is almost at the end. Now finally, you have to understand again that if you are someone who has done in GATE very well, okay, so and if you have only memorized the formula, then my friend, don't join IIT if you are a rigid person having a rigid mentality of not changing your approach. If you think that, oh, in IIT also I will have the same thing and I will be given this kind of questions, I'm a great topper, I can nail IIT. No. Believe me, I have seen people who have cracked GATE with a rank of 300, 400. They are crying in after they're crying after coming to IIT. So these kind of things are very common, and most thing, I mean, most, what should I say, most astonishing thing you will be facing when you will be appearing for an interview of DRDO or BARC. In ISRO, these kind of questions can be asked, but I was asked very conceptual questions in ISRO. Okay, so the interview experience will be there very soon, and already the BARC interview experience and the DRDO interview experiences are there. You can go and see. Okay, in detail, I have explained each and every question and what I answered. Okay, so the thing is, ki you have to change your mentality. If you want to join any PSU like IOCL, ONGC, they will not ask you that much of deep level question. They will just ask you basic. At, I mean, बहुत ही basic कि Bernoulli equation क्या होता है, apply the Bernoulli equation, V equal to root over of 2gh, this kind. But in NPCIL, BARC, DRDO, ISRO, BARC, they will go in depth. In IISc, in any IIT, you are supposed to know the basic fundamentals. So please, in this time, if you have secured a very good rank and if you want to change your approach, okay, if you want to change your approach, first of all, go to my interview logic building series. I have uploaded a video on Navier-Stokes equation. And on the next Sunday, the video on how to prepare for BARC that will come. In that video, you will be knowing specifically, precisely that how to build that logic building thinking. So I should say that it is like a thinking based on the logic. But why it is this? Why it is that? Why the boundary layer thickness is increasing? And I mean, and why it is proportional to 1 by root over of x. Sorry, root over of x. Why it is like that? You should ask yourself questions. Okay, now wait for the video for BARC. Until that, I would say you that please go through each and every formula, fundamental of each and every formula, the basic assumptions, and derive it by your own if you have not. So don't have to do this for all the subjects. For the interviews like BARC, you will be asked your favorite subject. But the interviews like ISRO and DRDO, they will give a very good amount of importance for manufacturing. Okay, now for that you have to study a lot. Okay, unless otherwise you had a situation for me, because I was asked from the thermal only mainly, and why that is so, for that you have to go to my DRDO interview experience, and I can guarantee you that you will not regret to spend those 30 minutes watching that video. You will be not be only getting the experience of the actual interview hall, but you will be getting the actual questions, a very good questions, and I should say that a very tricky experience in DRDO which I faced. So you have to build your mentality and in BARC also, right? So आज के लिए बहुत हो गया. What so the main gist was that I am just frustrated seeing this Get ME 2025 paper. Okay, this is just a crap in terms of I mean scrapping out the talents for the M.Techs in IIT. Okay, like I don't know that what to tell, but this is a type of wake up call for all of you that you should start working on your fundamentals. Okay, so start doing that, and we will meet in the next video. And before that, okay, if you have any question regarding any question of Get mechanical paper, any kind of uh, technical doubt or any other thing, you can post that in the comment box. And finally, if you feel that this guy is doing something for you, if this guy is trying to do something for you, then please hit that subscribe button and please share this video if you think that this video is of any value. I promise you that I will always try to bring something that no one is telling and that is very important for your journey, for your career, and for your growth. Now, we will meet in the next video. Until then, goodbye, take care, and thank you.